Hi, welcome to episode 21. Still with Sarawak United. Let's see how long it lasts. Apparently, it was recommended just right now on the Discord that I might just leave this club. Don't want to do that though. Not yet. So, I had some time to reflect on, I guess, player base. And overall, the circumstances seem pretty dire. So there's basically two options here, as far as I'm concerned. Option number one, we push towards promotion with all that we have, which is not that much, and hope that we make it within this season. That doesn't really feel like we could repeat that afterwards. So don't know if I want to do that. We have some players still under regular contracts. That's a minority these days, though. And well, hi. Welcome back to the stream. What feels good? Pushing for promotion? Or are you referring to something else? Yeah, okay. Well, to be fair, the alternatives are not exclusive, I think. So maybe, well, maybe we'll find something else. But it's a fact of the circumstances, I guess, that at least 50% of this wage budget, well, not maybe 50 exactly, would need to calculate, but it's 220, 340, 450, 550. Sure, I can look into the reputation. Why not? We will also play KL Robos apparently, and just as a disclaimer, I don't have that much time, so we have an hour or two, maybe. So this should be one of the shorter episodes, if nothing happens that confuses the circumstances, I guess, or changes circumstances, is the way I want to put it. Okay, so our club's reputation is... where is it? Guess it should be somewhere around here. Reputation, national. Not sure what to say about this. We should probably look into the league and compare this to the rest. Thank you. I rarely have a look at that. Malaysia, the clubs list. There's the reputation. So every reputation is national. More or less. We seem to be rock bottom though. It's really hard to determine, but I guess this means there is an upwards trend here, right? Reputation change, yeah. So the trend is positive. Naga is positive. Oh yeah, down here. They have regional reputation only. True. I overlooked that. Also, the stuff with armed forces makes sense. KL Rovers as well as Tembilan, I think these are... yeah, these are clubs that just got relegated, so it makes sense that their reputation is still pretty high and might decline in the future, whilst the armed forces got promoted. So their promotion went up. For the rest of them, yeah, that's more or less the same with the exception of maybe 6 clubs up here. Okay, so seen from that perspective, I guess Misio had a point, referring to our conversation earlier. Our reputation will grow, and maybe the player base willing to sign for us will grow too. True. But I am not sure if reputation changes on a daily basis. Isn't this something that maybe just changes at the end of the season? And I really don't know. Honest question. So, I wouldn't consider that to be, yeah, true. Um, well, to be fair, a club founded like 2 years ago probably shouldn't have national reputation. So, well, it must have been worse, given that there is an upwards trend. So, just the way a trend works, right? Yeah, well, renamed. Well, whatever though. In the end, the trend says we are good. Yeah. So, from that perspective, I think whatever we do is just fine. Um, now, yeah, but well, whatever happened back there, we finished 10th last season. Whatever happened there, it's not like we can influence it anymore. And apparently the trend is positive, so it must have been worse. The reputation, obviously, it doesn't show here, but if we had like a graph for the reputation, okay, well, we won't get relegated again in real life. That's in fantasy life. That's for sure. I think we'll make it. Which brings me back to, I guess, to a circular argument. So, I guess the question is, what are we going for? It's highly unlikely that we will manage to get this over the finish line throughout the rest of the season. I'm unwilling to say it's impossible, but we somewhat got lucky, I would argue. And given that it is expected that we will fight bravely against relegation, I think we're slightly overachieving, to say the least. So, it says here, attempt to avoid relegation, yeah. Attempt. So, we have that. In other words, we will probably not get fired. That's settled. The question is, where will we get the club? Then looking at the squad planner, there's like, first of all, I didn't really do that, so that's a problem. But I actually think there's another problem here. And the problem is that I started stockpiling players for no reason. In particular, in positions where we don't need them. I have a hard time with that. So, on reflection, I think maybe I shouldn't have been that excited to sign this player or that player. There's exceptions. So I want to go through the squad, look at their current ability, just as a rough sorting, and figure out if this player is needed. And I should also have a look at the hierarchy, by the way. There's players in here that barely make an appearance on the pitch. And they might be useful at some point, but they are also a detriment to team cohesion, for example. So maybe it's better to trim the squad here and there. In particular, in defensive midfield, I think we have too many playmaker-ish types. But let's do this one by one. Because I didn't figure all of it out yet. So, whatever. Granted, I had the opportunity to look at the squad prior to the stream, but I really didn't do much of that. So, I thought Chuchu was an inside forward recently. It doesn't really use his crossing though. So in the end, I'm still willing to go back to inverted winger here. It certainly uses the crossing way more, and I think that makes sense. So despite the star rating and all that stuff, I think inverted winger is fine. Attack duty, yeah, possibly. What it do? I Don't know what that means, Mickey Billion, but welcome back to the stream. And I hope you had a good day. Just some slang. Okay, well, I have no idea what it means, so feel free to translate. Ah. What's up? Alright. I will learn to be childish at some point. I guess long term, I expect him to decline physically, or medium term, if we can keep him for that contract right now. Seems like nobody's interested. Perfect. He's vice captain after all, so I'd rather keep him. So core component of the squad, obviously. The inside forward, I'm not so sure if that's a good idea. That said, he is a creative element of the squad. And, well, there is something that goes along with him. So, as an inside forward, he will rely a lot on his finishing, long shots, and that stuff. He's no good at this. Passing and vision is part of both inverted winger roles. Don't really want to emphasize on that. And I think the inside forward does more risky passing. So that's shit. In other words, I fucked up. Right? This is no good. So let's try to use him as an inverted winger instead and have a look at that. No, I'm just fiddling with it. Don't worry. Like, I'm unwilling to change all of it in the middle of the season. I hope that makes sense. So, as an inverted winger though, he can cross more often. That does make sense in his case. He can shoot less often, which makes sense. He can take fewer risks, and he can ease off tackles. That all is good. Yeah, but I don't. And that comes down to Mazrin. So Mazrin's bound to the club till the end of the season. I just recently changed the formation from from attacking to positive. So we had a short talk about this on the Discord, actually. Mazrin, for some absurd reason, we play him as a wingback on defend duty. It's not like that's horrible. He's okay with it. But looking at the attributes, his off-the-ball movement actually is better than his positioning. Like, it's not impressive, but he has impressive pace, actually. And his crossing's fine, too. So, what I'm going for here is he can provide with that we're lacking. Now, we can argue support or attack, but he can probably do both. Technique's a bit off, so maybe we go support. Not sure. I would need to look at the specific instructions. In a positive formation, though, there's also the ball-winning midfielder here, which hopefully still exists later on. Let's have a look at the instructions. And I'm perfectly willing to sit this out and look at Guide to FM too. So that might take a while, and it might not be very entertaining, but I still think looking at the wingback role and how it's defined, and what it actually means in the match engine is worthwhile. Because usually there's... Here we go. So usually there's hidden instructions in some roles. Yeah. In case of the wingback, with all of the duties, there is a hidden player instruction to make more darting forward runs. So it doesn't make much of a difference between the support and the attack duty. With support duty, the wingback is expected to provide angled through balls from out wide, and he crosses when the opportunity arises. Whilst on attack duty, it says here his aim is to overlap down the flank, provide support wide out for attacks, and run at his men and get crosses in from the byline. So I guess run at his men is the way that might be a bit off. Yeah, and I would probably do the exact opposite. Because his crossing is better than his passing. So I'm willing to let him dart past. I think I'll go attack, actually. This is also, I guess, accompanied by the fact that out here there's a ball-winning midfielder that can cover. And it provides a lot more goal-scoring opportunities and width on the pitch. I know, I realize. We can still tell him to dribble less, though. Even on attack duty. Well... I think you have a point. But Chuchu's passing is shit either way. It's also needed going forward. And really, I guess the argument for Chuchu is kind of, it's the best, the better situation out of two. Because his finishing and his long shots are even worse. Like, I wouldn't want to rely on him, on his goal scoring. So, having him close to goal doesn't make much sense to me. I'd rather have his somewhat reliable creativity in pulling players out of position. And to be fair, if he pulls the fullback out of position in the opposition squad, we have acres of space behind him usually. So somebody with 14-14 in passing, in acceleration and pace should probably go there. Well, we will figure it out, really. I think we can probably simply try both. And it might depend on who we will face and so on and so forth. If there's somebody on attack duty here, well, there's still an argument to be made for both roles, right? Don't know yet. It depends. That said, Mazarin in general is a resource that we're not really leveraging to the full extent. So I think there's some sense to this. Cool. So, from that perspective, these two are more or less set, right? We need them. I also want to throw the rest out just for a while. Even though some of them will come back. In the case of... maybe, yes. We have two resources out here. It's either Baru or Atan. And, well, Atan is new at the club. We just brought him in. Well, it will work just fine for the majority of the season. Also, we recently witnessed I think in Thomas's case, wherever he is here, we recently witnessed that actually bad consistency can go away with experience. So if you have time to sit it out, why not? Now, my biggest gripe these days is with the ball-winning midfielder, I think. We have one. What the hell is he? Sophie. There's no debate to be had here. Sophie's the only one that we have. We'll need to keep him. A low Nido. So, that's okay for until the end of the season. We promised Sideal to play, so not much to say here either. His one-on-ones are really bad. That's just risky. Sorry. Nose is itching. We should probably introduce the /s remark to chat. Apparently this is direly needed sometimes. No, this doesn't work here. That's even worse. Thanks, Twitch. So, apparently /something in Twitch is is doing not what I want. Let Baru attack is a thing. I had a look at that. Baru's flair and anticipation are pretty great. So that is a thing. By being played on attack by Baru. I also want him to cross from the byline. I think that makes sense. So Baru on attack, why not? That said, I'm not sure if Baru will play for the majority of matches. It's not like I hate him all of a sudden. I just feel like the other player is even better. I'll show you in a second. Well, it depends on the opponent's formation, doesn't it? Because if we go more width, I think Baru is the right choice. If we don't, then the other one might be the right choice. So I want to adapt it technically to what the opponent does. In this case, though, let's do winger on attack. Alright, taking fewer risks and shooting less often. Well, his passing's shit, so we will stick with that. And he can probably ease off tackles given the overall quality of our players. Yeah, his tackling's bad. So let's ease off tackles a little bit with him. There is an alternative that I want to keep in the squad too. I think that's pretty straightforward. Artan. We just brought him in. And I have my gripes with the mentals. But this is an actual inside forward to me. There's not much of a debate to be had if he wants to be on attack or on support duty, I think. He's okay with either. He will train whatever is instructed here. The personal instructions, they do not affect this. He will still train his passing. That makes sense. I'm not sure what you're asking. Maybe I misunderstand. Most likely I misunderstand. He trains as a winger on attack now. The familiarity does go up. Well, it does go up for this role in this formation. And, cool, there's 3 formations in here. In the other formation, his familiarity is pretty high already. That has to do with the mentality, though. So, I think his mentality, the mentality goes up. The position role duty bar goes up according to what he does in... according to this. This is what he's training. It quite clearly says here. And then it is derived from primary train tactic, and then the other ones are basically secondary, if it makes sense. So this is an argument for training the player. Yeah, for me not. I think he's too slow to be in a real winger. I want him to cut inside. I still want him to cross, but I want him to cut inside. I think, like, oh, the right. Yeah, well, he could play on the right side, obviously, yes. Oh, you're talking about where is he? Atan. Yeah, I wouldn't play him as a winger. That's simply due to the fact that his crossing and dribbling are worse than his finishing. True. You have a point. That's true. Good point. So, assuming we would keep him long term, which we don't, I would probably retrain him on the other wing. But that is a good point, yes. So maybe we should rely on his crossing after all, and on the other hand, if we want flexibility, tactically speaking, it's a good idea to have an inside forward here, or an inverted winger or something. Now, his composure is pretty bad, and his finishing is pretty good, so we might as well do inside forward, I think. I'll roll with it for this season. and then we'll see. So it says inside forward and support. What does an inside forward and support do? Dribble more. Well, he's not great at that. Cut inside with the ball. Yeah, that's, well, that he's not a left-footed guy. You are right with that. Take more risks. That's shit, he doesn't know how to play a pass. Cross less often. Yeah, that makes some sense. And get further forward. Get further forward would probably be okay with him. So overall, this seems a bit not that great. What about inverted winger? So he can still shoot more often, I think. Take fewer risks. Dribble more and cut inside with the ball. Cutting inside with the ball makes some sense because he might end up in a finishing position. Given his long shots, I'm not sure if shooting more often is a good idea. And I want him to shoot closer to the goal. So can we have maybe inverted winger on attack? I didn't figure this out prior to doing the stream, by the way. You can probably tell. So that would say dribble more, get further forward. Getting further forward, that's somewhat okay for him. Dribbling more, not so much. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, so overall I'm not sure. Maybe you are right. Maybe we should use him as some sort of a winger. His flair's pretty great. So winger on attack might do. Then we have 2 times the same player though. Or the same role, I guess. So we would play with a winger on attack every single time. Is this bad? I don't know. I guess it takes away tactical flexibility. But why not? So assume we play him like this. Taking fewer risks is probably a good idea. That says he should cross more often. Well, to be fair, that might also be related to whatever is available as a target up front. Cross from the byline, get further forward, stay wider, cool. Back here, we don't have anyone that can contribute much on the attacking side anyway. He's got good crossing, but looking at that off-the-ball movement, I'd rather not. So I guess the argument can be made that it should be fullback on defend, actually. Now, I do very much like wingbacks, and they're darting forward. But maybe it's a good idea to put him on fullback duty. There might be too much of a gap here though, so I'm not sure if this is great. Yeah, and I like those darting runs forward, so what's the difference with the wingback on defend? Basically the same. Just the hidden instruction of the darting runs is on. So I guess if this doesn't work, we might go with fullback on defend overall. That said, for next match it's even worse, because we will need to play Amran. Well, let's just say I'd rather have him as his director of football, yeah, these days. But I was going on about whom to keep and whom not to keep. So there's this other occasion in attacking midfield. I really didn't come up with a solution to what we do there yet, but one thing comes to mind immediately. We signed a 36-year-old. Where the hell is he? This guy. I will probably break my tongue pronouncing this. Zulkifli? Zulkifli. Sure. He's pretty great close to the goal. Like, his finishing is great, long shots aren't bad. His physicals aren't that great anymore. But, and also his mentals are lackluster a little bit. He can play a pass though. I don't know. Probably not want to dribble. Problem is, attacking midfield contains a whole lot of roles that dribble. So we can also say, okay, we give him a non-dribbling passing role, but then he will never use his finishing. Well, that's trash. Not great. So we might need to deal with the bad dribbling. We might play him as an attacking midfielder that dribbles less. Or, I don't know. Usually though the dribbling is part of whatever role there is up front. Sadly. I guess we could try Enganche. That said, that's a creative role. So let's see what happens if we put him in there. That would use dribbling less, taking more passing risks, which is fine, and holding position. Is this bad? I don't know. He wouldn't contribute much defensively, would he? That's sad. So, dribbling less in this area. That would, first and foremost, make sure that he relies on his passing. He can still shoot, right? Yeah, we can still tell him to shoot. So, it's a bit weird. But we could, theoretically, still tell him that he needs to shoot. How's his tackling? It's probably bad. It's 8! Never mind. Take that off. My thought process here was that Thomas has attributes that are somewhat all over the place. And I still think that's lackluster. Don't necessarily want to give him away. That said, Taip is still around. And we also have this new guy, Zulkifli. He's physically strong, but the rest of it is, well, so-so. Not really a big fan either. He does have, I guess, a vision he has, and some passing skills. So, not sure if I want to play him, or the 36-year-old, really. I didn't decide yet. But we have 4 attacking midfielders. There's only one person in this stream that I can think of that needs 4 attacking midfielders. And it's not me. So I might just consider to actually sell Thomas. Because he will be gone at the end of the season anyway. He doesn't want to be sold though. So I guess he can stay. We have a similar problem in defensive midfield. There's a ton of players that can play a pass here. So Ankun is captain right now. He's also considered to be a star player and blah blah, and if I look at the hierarchy, well, this doesn't exactly say sell Ankun, right? I'd rather not. My concern with it is he will probably be gone at the end of the season. Form is pretty great. Derived from 7 matches, that's not bad. It's not like I want to get rid of him, but we have alternatives there. And the alternatives are not much worse. Look at Suleiman here, he's fine passing, that's okay. Performances haven't been that great, but we play him like as a defensive midfielder more often than not. He barely makes an appearance as a playmaker. And to be fair, I'm not sure if he's that suited to do it. He's okay-ish, slotting in. For a team that might get relegated, he's probably okay with that. Then there's Fasail. Fasail is clearly in decline. He was signed as a star player because I expected to lose Ankun. And, well, at least on paper, he's a consistent performer. We barely played him. He made 2 appearances, 7.15 rating. Nothing to be concerned of, but we can't really judge. He is not a natural defensive midfielder, though. Well, that just happens, make a billion. Probably, I don't know, low sharpness and hard training altogether. There's also Killeen. Killeen's passing's pretty great. And we are somewhat sure that he will remain until the end of the season. Also considered to be a squad player. So we have 4 options for playmakers roles. For playmakers role, minimum. Kilin, Ankun, Suleiman, Fazail. Yours or theirs? With you, I'm not never sure. I'm never sure. I'm not never sure. Great. Okay. So, do any of you have opinions on the overall situation with the playmakers? It feels like we have too many, and we really need 2. That's it. Now, to be fair, Suleiman can be defensive midfielder, so if we don't include him, that's fine. So say we keep Suleiman, or then Kilin. So that means that Fazail can go. He's just deadwood right now. I imagine we will want him back at the end of the season, but for now he's a detriment to dynamics. And the big problem here is somebody else might come around and sign him, but on the other hand, he's 33. Like, I want that trade, I want the consistency, I want all of that. Yeah, you wouldn't. He also has scouting knowledge in Slovakia, so what I'm willing to do though is keep him around as a fringe player maybe. But he will not accept that. Nah. Well, there's also one additional point here. Zulkifli can actually slot in there at some point. Sure, he's 36, but he can still do that in case it's absolutely needed. And I want to trim the squad. So I guess I will throw out Fasail. He's an influential player though, so yeah, great work. The physicals are in decline though, and the rest is too. I'll do this. I'll release him. I will hate myself later on, but for now. Maybe. Don't know. With Zulkifli, I have a similar problem. He's fucking expensive. I signed him on a whim. It's not like I hate the guy. It's just he will not have appearances on the pitch. He's pretty fast, and well, he considers himself to be a star player. But as long as Thomas and Taib are around, I don't really see why we would play him. I just want to compare him for a second to Thomas first. So, assuming we can get rid of Thomas, that's fine. I don't want to get rid of Thomas though, but that's not the biggest concern. Thomas doesn't want to leave. Like, armed forces were interested in him and we bit their hands off, so now they don't want him anymore. Well, congratulations. Now we're stuck with him for the remainder of the season. Granted, 110 per week, well, it's not that horrible. It might be better than playing 400 to Zulkifli. He's too expensive. Also, he's faster. And Taib, well... But we do not necessarily rely on pace specifically all the time, right? And this... Yeah, Taib is worse. We don't pay Taib, though. In particular, not 400 euros per match. So, it's not like I hate the guy, but I think he's obsolete. In particular, given that we have 3 players up there on top of him. And I shouldn't have signed him. Like, long term, maybe. But in this season, this will go into drama mode. He considers himself to be star player. He wants to be star player. He wants to be all the time, play all the time. And well, like I'm not complaining. He made a goal scoring debut, but long term, this will be a problem. So, do we keep him? Do we get rid of him? Do we play him out of position? He can replace Choo Choo. at some point, but we have Harsey for that. And Harsey's not bad. So, I have my doubts. What happens if we throw a player out and try to re-sign him at the end of the season? Fuck that, it's just a game. So, yes, I am making a profit. But for now, I'm trying to make a profit for team cohesion. So I just threw out 2 players that are perfectly fine. Because I think they are at the detriment of the squad overall. They are just, how do I put this? They are not Deadwood, but we cannot play him whilst we have other players at the club in their position. So I don't want to keep them. The whole affair of Carrier and Safri is pretty straightforward. There's nobody else around that can do that. So they need to play. We got rid of the left back. He's on the under-21s now. Also, welcome back to the stream, by the way, Chernald. And the way we make profit is on the back of your specific coaching of friendlies. In particular, we are doing a friendly once every 2 weeks, facing the old Sarawak club, our affiliate. That brings us in 10k every single time. So there's no problem with that. The board just doesn't accept it. They did not realize yet that we are printing money. Basically, yes. Might be. This stuff, but like, I'm not 100% convinced this is a good idea, but I'm willing to roll with it. So, is this too much of a squad? Maybe. But 2 of them just got thrown out. And I threw them out not because I hate them. I threw them out because I shouldn't have signed them in the first place. Like, I guess I will need them back in the future. That's perfectly possible. Also, I think I want to emphasize we do need a replacement for the left. Yep, I did. The funny part is I will probably put them both on the shortlist immediately. And maybe they hate me now. But maybe one of them will be willing to come in the future. Oh, so this guy's considered to be a defensive midfielder. Do we need one? Well, maybe. But I think we want to play him as a central defender, actually. And we have, like, 2 options there. So this is... like, this makes sense. He will be able to slot in 2 positions at least. And, well, I guess Saleh will be fine in the senior squad without playing. His agreed playing time as a youngster is not to play at all. So that's okay. We can use somebody else that is slightly better in his place. So I'm willing to go with this. Also, yet another lone player. So we don't pay him at all. And I want to put him on central defender training. He's not perfect, but thinking about Ismavi, Ismavi wasn't perfect either. Don't care much about the heading. Sure, could be better, but I think we'll go with defensive positioning here. Hope that he develops some marking skills, and, well, it's not a long-term move anyway. Don't care much about this. So that's him. Basically means he needs to go to the bench immediately. The right back is banned for this match, suspended. So we need to bring somebody else. Does anyone in this squad play on the right side? Well, Vicky can come along for sure. I guess we could bring along Baru and just play him in right back position if it's needed. For one match, I'm not willing to do a signing or anything, and I'd rather play Baru than who else is down there. Currently, Saipi plays on the right. Well, okay. But I thought we had somebody here. Roslan. No, it's not Roslan. Ishak. Ishak's the one that is no good. So I'd rather not promote him. Amran will need to go through this one match. Okay. I'm also not aware if this is a combination that might work. It might be way too supportive. On the other hand, we're doing positive. So we're going for more possession, basically. And try to take it... It feels wrong to say try to take it slow, but it really... That's the way it is. We pass the ball around and try to tire out the opposition. So going for my 5% more possession and less expected goals, I guess. Might work, might not. Maybe we need an advanced forward up front here. I also don't know, is like this role, is this some sort of playmaker-ish role? It's a static playmaker, right? Yeah, it says up here. It's a site's primary creator, it says here. So, chances are these two will exchange passes a lot, because they are both playmakers. And, well, there's a hidden instruction for playmaker roles that makes them target... makes them being targeted more by other players, right? I also have no idea how to pronounce enganche. It says here there's a hidden instruction to use more creative freedom. So he will be a creator in general that suits his flair and his passing and the overall technical capabilities. So I think that's fine. We also taught him to shoot more often, so I guess maybe it works. And I read your comment, Mies. I think your opinion is valid. I'm not sure if we will be able to pull this off. So we pretty much love Suleiman and Killeen anyway. And then, well, what do we do? I guess Killeen can stay at home. If we bring along Harsi, you want to bring Taib or Thomas, I guess. Where's Taib? Here. And maybe Hasnan in case we need a real striker. I realize, yes. I will probably do that. You are correct. Let's bring... Where is he? Oh, that's bad. Here's a shock. Let's bring him along. Alright. The main striking unit is... Well... Let's see, I guess. I think him, actually. And funnily enough, he's probably better at it in his creative role than the former main striker unit Thomas, who didn't score anyway. Well, if that makes us concede less goals, I'm fine with it. I don't know. We'll see. So I was actually hoping that we could get rid of some players that are under regular contract, but as it is right now, these either do not want to leave or we rely on them somewhat. So in the end, it stays the same. And we will probably just carry through, on with this until the end of the season arrives. And afterwards, like, half of the squad will be gone anyway. Okay. He accepts his fine. That is great. after getting 3 yellow cards. We were just thrown out of the promotion spots. That doesn't matter much. There's also a creator now in attacking midfield that is able to spot a pinpoint pass somewhat, and that is able to shoot. So he can determine that himself. But you have a point. It's not like I'm opposed to the idea. Also, by the way, Masrin is on attack duty. So there's still the opportunity for him to overlap and create something. I think overall this tactic is it's hard to determine how stuff will be created. There are definitely 2 players on the wing now that can do that. There is the option to go through the middle, and we face a lot of 4-4-2s. Yeah, I might. Okay, not much to say here. Roslan doesn't want to continue training his endurance. Well, in that case, let's just take him off that. We do still train him as a wingback on defend duty. I think we'll keep him that way. In case he comes on, it's usually a defensive situation anyway, and he's better at that. Usually he doesn't play from the start. And well, if he does, then we will need to shift our focus, I guess. $144 million. Yeah, the 24 trials, this is a bunch of players in the under 21s. To be honest, I forgot who that is. But, well, how do I put this? None of them look very promising. That's, nah. That's the entirety of Cushing's youth squad, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Seems like we offered a trial to the entirety of Cushing. Under 21s. So, that's them. Congratulations. He's not bad. Well, he is, but, 5 points of strength for somebody with a more or less defensive role. That's not the worst in Malaysia. The mentals are not great, though. On the other hand, he's 19. Apparently a consistent performer. That's, I don't know, susceptible to injury. Don't do that. And in case Ankun goes away at the end of the season, which, well, is likely to happen, the new guy, the 36-year-old, as long as he doesn't retire, might just feel inclined to do captaincy in the future. Because his leadership is, I think, 8 or 9. He has work rate, he has determination, if I'm not mistaken. His decision-making is okay-ish. We can probably rely on an older player doing captaincy in the center of the pitch. That would be great. So maybe he will play until he's 40. I don't know. Hopefully. I'm really hoping for it. Alright. Baru should train his endurance. I'd rather not. I think endurance is important to somebody like Baru, but I'd rather not focus on it. We can always replace him on the pitch in case he gets tired. I don't really agree with all of the morale thing here, though. Have a look at this. Oh, their training rating's pretty great, though. What's going on there? Choo-choo trains well. I think we were aware of that. Perfect morale now. Sulaiman still focusing on being a defensive midfielder. Alright. We will probably use him as a winger going forward, it seems. So there's that. Still focusing on the passing, though, that makes sense. For him, that's pretty good. He did have to... No, this is a goalkeeper. Interesting. Where's Saidil? Saidil had the game of his life recently. It actually pushed him over the what's it called? It's not border. Over his limit. We promised Saidil to play him next season as as an important player, as long as he achieves a 7.0 rating. Well, he recently played for an 8.5 rating as a goalkeeper against Kelatan. So, now he is with his average at 7.07. That's... I didn't expect that to happen. Sure as hell I'm not happy about it, given the amount of shots he faced. So, that was a really lackluster defensive situation overall. It was only for Saidil that we got anything from that game. That's decent. And now we're going all the way to Rajili, who doesn't train well. Alrighty. Referencing Saidil's last match, I guess we could also probably tell him that his goalkeeping was fantastic. That works. Unsurprisingly. And who did do the goal scoring last time out? Whose goal was it? Zulkifli. Oh yeah, he's gone. Okay, so much for that. Fine! So I guess we go forward and try to do the match against the Rovers. You're still disappointed? Oh, this is about training rating of Zainuddin. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't matter much. Not to me. Scouting report. A 4-4-2. So, going to the inside is not a bad idea. Our left is this area, so there's no nonsense center back here that will close down Choo-Choo. Nice. Right? A no nonsense center back is one that is more prone to closing down, if I'm not mistaken. So he should close down Choo-Choo. Or maybe he does. Well, he's got the pace. I'm somewhat doubtful of the tackling and stuff. So maybe that helps. Also, well, his positioning is good. Marking is lackluster. I don't know, maybe we will be able to overlap here. And this guy, he doesn't help defensively. He's also not as fast as Masri. So there might be an opportunity to overlap here. Why not? Yeah. We'll have a look at it once we get there. Alright, this will need a minute or two for processing anyway, so I will grab some fresh water from the fridge. I didn't get to do that prior to starting this stream, as you have seen. I'm relying on Coke right now. And I really don't want to drink Coke for another hour. So, I'll be right back. Wow. You didn't miss anything. The processing. Wow. I need new hardware. Did I mention that? I wanted to buy that in the middle of the year. So, yeah. Great. In my defense, it doesn't make sense to invest into it this year for tax reasons. Alright. We will get there though. Pinky promise. So we trimmed the squad by 2 players. That's not horrible. It's something. We also found a central defender. That is also okay. So now we have 3.5. The youngster I do not consider to be a full central defender just yet. He might make the appearance in a league match or two. Who knows? But Saleh, I think, is more one for the future. If there is a future to be had for him at all. We still have one more playmaker-ish type than we actually need, but I think some cover is alright. And well, Taib will leave at the end of the season. That, or we sign him on a permanent basis and Thomas leaves or something. We will find some solution there. I also think both of the strikers need replacing. Like, I get that poachers and advanced forwards are much more favored by other players than by me. But in this area, I think I need a decent striker overall. I still do. And a decent, and from my perspective, should be somebody that has some strength and some jumping reach. So if we can find anyone that can play up front in that role, I would be okay with it. 27 trials that finish. Maybe. Who the hell is this? He's Croatian. Why the hell is he on? Yeah. Thank you very much. Get off my shortlist. Thomas is good enough to be an important player, it says. That's wonderful, but we just signed somebody else to play there. And I assume we will lose Thomas. There's not much to look at here, I think. We just had a look at the under-21s. I don't want to go into detail with this. Fumble bit for this guy. Kinda. We have like 10 people that play left back. I realize that last time I signed random people. We brought these two in because, well, they're young. I really don't want a temperamental player in here, though. Okay. So, who knows? Maybe it has to do with reputation. I don't know. Do any of the others, besides Mies, do any of you know if players are more interested in signing for us once reputation grows? This is a thing. So maybe at the end of the season, once reputation increases a little bit. Okay. Well, I'm not sure about that. But if you say so, I trust you. I just thought one of the others maybe had to make had a comment on that too. I don't know. I guess prove it is the wrong way to put it. I guess to make sure. Right. Okay. Well, in that case, the cup run probably did do us some good. Most likely. Given that we at least defeated 2 teams that we were definitely not expected to defeat, with Chor DT and Kuala Lumpur, I think, prior to being thrown out by the current, well, they are destined to be champions, whoever it was. Forget about it. Ugh. I need to improve this setup. There's too much stretching involved here. Great. Not much to say. By the way, whatever happens as a result of my tactical tinkering right now, I will not consider this to be one match, and afterwards we need to throw it all out the window. First of all, we don't have the familiarity just yet, but also we play number 1 in the league. So, whatever will happen, I do not expect this to work all of a sudden. IP can get better than Dicky. Well, that's great. Dicky's rubbish anyway. Same here. He can become a top player. That's great and all. Let's see where this goes. Who knows? Maybe next season we have enough of a reputation that some of the players of Kuching actually want to come over on a permanent basis. That would be fantastic. So how's it going with your respective saves? I think, Mies, you didn't continue playing in China, right? You are stuck with statistical analysis as far as I'm aware. It's I will be quite interested in what you figure out. Let me put it that way. What about the others? Any of you still have a save going? I guess. Mika Billion just wrote about it. Well, a few minutes ago anyway. Yeah. To be fair, you take the time that I usually don't on stream. I think it would be well suited for me to take my time sometimes. Yeah. How are you doing in general, Cheronalot? Like, I have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that it's not the weekend right now because as I'm streaming. Usually I do this Mondays and Fridays, so it kind of envelops the weekend. So given that I'm on vacation right now, um, sorry, that was bound to happen at some point. I need to take these days. Um, I'm in weekend mode, somewhat. So I realized that everybody has to work. That's well, kind of. I guess I know it on a logical level. Emotionally, though, I do not really comprehend. If that makes sense. I could probably do another 4 months of streaming. That would be fine too. Certainly moves the series a bit forward. Also, YouTube decided not to display my videos to anyone anymore. Like, prior to releasing the FM24 videos, there were like 10 people or something that looked at it at least. These days, nobody clicks my thumbnails anymore and nobody watches the video. Oh, that's nice. It also feels like, how do I put this? The combination of alcohol and co-workers usually is pretty dangerous, isn't it? They're, I guess, anonymously, I can quote a Christmas party of one of my former employers that didn't go well because somebody that was employed for 20 years in the company decided, under the influence of alcohol, that they want to insult one of the female co-workers, in particular the exterior of the female co-worker. I see, yeah. Probably better that is. Let's just say you can also get fired after 20 years in a company if you decide to use specific words for a specific person. So just be careful with that, you know. Asmi signed a new contract, so we don't pay him anymore. That's good. I think we paid him 15 euros prior to that. Everybody leaves. That's fine. And well, now against KL Rovers, let's go back to what we know about them. So we'll have a look at the report again. If I find it. Here we go. Goalkeeper doesn't have good reflexes. Ah, that's true. He's 37. So also 18 caps. There's definitely worse people out there to stand in goal. Command of area is a bit low. He's 1.77 meters. Doesn't know how to throw the ball. His kicking is fine. Handling is okay. Positioning is a bit off, but not by much. Overall, this is a decent goalkeeper. His reflexes are a bit lackluster, though. That's the age, I guess. Squad lacks natural fitness. Well, that doesn't help us. Isn't especially blessed with the crossing. His crossing is 7. His crossing is 9. So that must be more related to midfield players and maybe those. His crossing's pretty good. That's not horrible either, but it's not great. So we can probably leave him open, I would argue. On the attacking side, he's still prone to delivering a cross somewhat, but he's not the most dangerous of them all. So yeah, there's that. Balance. Not sure what to make of that. Yeah, we can do that. His bravery is a bit high for that though. First touch is pretty okay, so closing down, not sure if that's a good idea. On the other side, it's very similar here, just that wow, he's 40. So there's the option though. Given that he's 40, he's pretty slow. His pace is 8. What's the fastest guy up front on the right side? Atan is 13-12. Where's Baru? Baru is 12-11. So we will use Atan here. Despite not being that familiar with the role just yet. And we will probably play the play down the right. He's just too fast for his opponent. To be fair, that's not the only mismatch, is it? This 4-4-2 in general might also... It opens the option to play through the middle, given that we have a creative role here. And we also have a playmaker facing this guy. 7 points of passing, 9 points of vision, good first touch. There's some creativity in him, but not that much. And this central midfielder here, for some weird reason, this guy has the better passing. So, strength though is pretty bad. Off the ball movement's pretty bad. Assuming Sabri plays there, we can use Sophie to just hang on to him as well as we can. All right. So I guess I didn't really change much, but at least I do come up with an idea here for how we can deal with them. And it doesn't really feel like we need to do much. It just feels like we have some options here on how to deal with them in general. But what do I know? Maybe I'm completely wrong about it. Maybe I underestimate their strengths. What? Oh. It's Hussein, not Hussein. Sure. Well done. That's also something that I really like, by the way. Ever since we registered the under-21s, as well as the under-19 players. Where is it? Who the hell are you? Can we take them off being available for the under-21s finally? I thought I did that. Oh, it says until match fit for 45 minutes. That's the problem. So... we probably can't do this for all of them, can we? Sorry, gotta go through this for a second. It clearly states here he's available. He's not. Was the goalkeeper, so I might have given him permission to play for 45 minutes or something. An instruction that just doesn't exist here. At least not in the menu. To other players. Here. I usually do not do this. Just because it will persist, and well, look at that. Whilst I think it is worthwhile, if there is some sort of squad registration and stuff going on, it just obfuscates the menu. I really don't like that. And if they need to be registered, I think there's a limit for players that can be registered. So I don't want the first team to be registered half-assed, for the under-21s. That's better. Now, there's the added problem that half of the under-19 seems to be registered for the under-21s for some reason. Why? I can't even take that off. Oh, that's the wrong player. No. How do I take this off? Do I promote them all to the under-21s and make them... I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I guess they are available for the under-21s after all. Fine. Cool. Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't make sense anyway. Because I can go in here. Apparently I can do it this way. So I'll make them all available. It somehow worked. Thank you very much, Mies. There was no menu though, prior to doing that. Piala Belia. And in this squad, it's Piala Presiden. Thank you very much, that's much better. Okay. I really don't want to deal with this. There we go, we clear this all, then we auto-select, and well, apparently it still contains a bunch of players from the other squads, so what do I know? Who cares? The worst that can happen is that somebody from the senior squad is allowed to play in the under-21s. So I guess that's positive. Okay, so we are expected to play somebody else. Don't really want to go with that. I want to have a look at something though. On the left side, Chuchu is not exactly a fast guy. Pace 8. But we do have a fast guy available on the left, so that's their right. That would be him, he's pretty fast. As well as Zakaria, who is also pretty fast. So maybe not going there. Maybe we'll use Chuchu. We do not need a squad registration up here. Confusing. There's a squad registration for the under-19s and the under-21s, and no pop-up menu to warn you about it. But there is no registration for the senior squad. I complain too much about this or that. Sorry. Also, Chirinella just praised Azar. Who is Azar? Okay. Why would you do that? This is something you always do, Chernollet, by the way. You always praise the opposition players. Why is that? Feels a bit... I wouldn't necessarily say illoyal or unloyal. But a bit off. Oh. Oh, okay. Maybe I should have a look then. That's true. This is akin to in real life. Makes sense. Well, as much as we can call this real life. Just streaming after all. Alright. Hmm. Sure. Let's save the game first. And then hopefully we can defeat number 1 in the league table. KL Rovers. What does KL stand for? Is this Kuala Lumpur or something? Feels a bit... There's this sort of pessimism. Or is it just me? Sure we can. I don't know. Kuala Lumpur Rovers FC, yes. They are also a professional club, just to put that out there. So, defeating them, that would be... wow. I just thought it might have to do with my choice of tactic, which I would understand too. That is true, yes. Also, they pay their players. And they train them. And they want Mr. Zulkifli to make a debut. Well, I do too. We'll give him number 10. Or something. We could play Abdullah instead of Safri. Is he any better? Nah, let's play Safri first and foremost. Like, with the exception of his tiny little vacation with the other Sarawak club. We're more or less okay. Okay. So, there's one player that might play Saleh. Let's make him available for the next match. He can play this one match with the under-19s. I think that makes sense. Must be 18 or younger. Okay. At specific date. Well, we defeated the last club that came from Kuala Lumpur. Might as well do it to the other. That's better. So let me think about Christmas for a second, actually. I didn't think about the scheduling just yet. Great. Now we have the tactical meeting. Let me just have a look. Given that most of the regulars are around right now, the regular stream on Friday will probably happen. So the one tomorrow at the 22nd. I do not want to guarantee the time though. So it might not be at 18. I'm not so sure. 6 p.m. for the Americans. I'm not so sure if I will hit 6 p.m. exactly. That might go both ways. It depends a bit on, let's say, my private circumstances and the ones of imaginary people in my life. Then over Christmas, I will probably be out of the house. But the stream on Monday might happen or it might not. I'm not so sure about it yet. If I don't get to do the stream on Monday, I might do one on Tuesday or Wednesday. So just to warn you about it. Yeah, that's about it. Also, in case any of you know any robbers, first of all, there's other people that might be around, and second of all, there's nothing to steal in this apartment. So, you don't need to bother. Okay. Fine. We will have a look at the opposition and look at instructions that we want to include. In particular for the next match, though. How are their central defenders, first and foremost? He doesn't know how to jump, and his jumping reach is 6. Our striker's jumping is, first of all, he's not a striker, but it's 8. So we will definitely float crosses. This time. Next. I think we figured out that overlap on the left is probably a good idea here. So might as well do that. The overlap on the left. Because, well, Mr. Zakaria is pretty fast. But, well, he's good with marking and positioning. He might have a hard time covering for 2 players at once, though. So, who knows. He's also one that does not need to be marked, I think. We can probably ignore him. Like, 6 points of crossing is still a bit dangerous, 5 points of passing, not so much. Usually there shouldn't be much that will happen from that. What's with him? His passing is 1. So, I'm very inclined to not mark this guy. Jumping reach is pretty bad. Bravery is okay-ish. Strength is okay-ish. Dribbling is pretty low. First touch is horrible. So if I could, I would probably close him down. That said, we'll probably not be around that much. On the other hand, his first touch is way more worse than the other guys. So if we trigger a press on a central defender, it's on him. Then his passing is 6. That's not... I would say for a central defender that's pretty good, but I think we can probably cope with not marking him. And his passing is 5, the crossing is 6 to 8. That's more of a person that needs to be marked sometimes. I think we won't do anything to him. Other than showing him to the weaker foot, he's right-footed. Wasn't there somebody that was a case for a hard tackle? Was this him? You sure about that, Journal? His bravery is 7 to 9. His dribbling is low, but his first touch is for alright. So, I don't know, if he had low bravery, He has low bravery though. I think I would hard tackle him. His first touch is lower, his bravery is lower, his dribbling and strength are similar or lower. That's a central defender that doesn't like to do his central defending, I think. His strength is better, so I think I will refrain from that. There's also the argument that his bravery is 7 to 9, so he will usually be faced. It's a left defender. He will usually be faced with Atan. Atan's bravery is 3. His tackling is also bad. Tests, on the other hand, is a little bit better. So I see something in there. So I hope you will forgive me, but I don't think that's worthwhile. I think the other way is probably better. That's why I'm doing it this way. Well, might go horribly wrong, you know? I'm not prone to being right. We'll see. His bravery is rubbish. The problem is his dribbling is pretty great. He does? True. True. That's Zakaria. Zakaria is the right one. So we are talking about Chuchu or Masrin. Well, his strength is 3, so that's a little bit better. And Masrin's is just fine. Bravery on Chuchu was pretty low though. On the other hand, maybe that's an idea. Yeah, I got it. I think you have a point there. Okay, let's go through the rest. So, my biggest concern with him is the technical capability, basically. Off-the-ball movement's not that high. Bravery is pretty low, sadly, but whatever. With that dribbling, I will not tackle him hard. I just don't think that's viable. I see. Well, if we were to play with a pressing forward, that would make even more sense. That said, there is also the general theme of hard tackling in the squad, right? In this formation, we do have... no, not the formation. In this mentality, with the positive slash attacking mentality, former attacking mentality, we do have get stuck in on. So there are hard tackles all over the place expected of them. This guy's passing is okay-ish. Off the ball movement is okay-ish. That's the right one, so he will be faced with our playmaker. That said, his passing is still worse than what's on the other side. This guy has way better passing. Luckily though, we can mark him tightly. Mr. Sabri. And in this particular circumstance, I think we should probably mark Sabri out of... No. The other way around, isn't it? Shit. Ankun's tackling is not that bad though. His marking is alright, yeah. Ankun can do defensive duties too. So, Mr. Ankun, would you be so kind to mark Sabri out of the game? Please. I'm hoping for that. His off-the-ball movement isn't good. So maybe, as long as Ankun is somewhat okay, he should probably be able to mark him out of the game most of the time. This guy's dribbling's pretty high, sadly. Nope. It's the wrong one. Left-footed. Knocks the ball past the opponent. So we show him to the right and hope that he needs to do some crossing. I don't like that much, but what can you do? Same with him, really. His crossing's worse though, so hopefully that works. This guy's a good dribbler too. But, like, if we tell all of them to ease off tackles on everyone. That might just result in a lot of goals conceded. First touch is great, no use closing him down, really. Bravery is pretty low, but with that dribbling, well... Similarly here. I don't know what to do about this other than keeping them away from the goal. Let me have a look a second time. Let me have a second glance at this one. First touch is too good to really press him. I think we actually need to press the defenders here. Is there nobody in here with really bad first touch? 8. 11. 8. No, it's really the defenders only. Okay. So, technically speaking, they are capable of receiving a ball, I guess. Alright. Sure, squad number selection. Oh, we need 2. Great. Zulkifli for number 42. Why not? Alright. Then we'll go to the match, and I will do a like 10-second break. Gotta close the door. Alright, let's do this. Hopefully, we will get a decent result. Apparently they defeated us last time. This is perfect. We will go with revenge. Ishak is nervous. It's a home match. So I will reluctantly face the remainder of the team and tell them that I have trust in them. Yeah. Like, in case Ishak plays, it's probably an Ishak problem. It's not a Sarawak United problem to be nervous in these circumstances overall. I think Ishak's the only one, and that might be related to the fact that he's part of the under-21s right now. Or, I don't know. Part of those that will probably be cut off at some point. So, if we defeat them, we are guaranteed to finish up in spot number 1. Top of the league. You are very welcome to comment on whatever's going on the pitch. And, you know, tell me about this or that we should probably do on the tactics side. Ankun takes somebody out of the game. That's fine. Zakaria with a throw in. Seemed like patient passing for now. Prior to playing a long ball, and that long ball worked just fine. Chuchu loses the ball. Wins the ball. Mazrin. Zulkifli. Ankun. Chuchu again. Safe pass. Test. Nice penetrating pass by Test. I don't get it. On the left foot. Wow. What a combination. And Chuchu actually manages to beat the keeper. That cannot have had a high probability. He is! Ouch. Thanks for that one. But he is! Chuchu's finishing is 4. True. Composure's good. But if you go that way, it's still worse than his passing. Because composure also influenced passing. So I get that. But all of this also influences passing. And his passing skill and his vision are still better than his finishing and his long shots. So I rest my point. The result though is I'm okay with it. Also overlapping seems to work. Create space, there's test. Oh! Not sure if they know what hit him. That seems dangerous. Or not. Safri covering in that position is probably a bit risky. Mazrin, test. Ankun. Ball for Chuchu. That's offside. 11 minutes and, well, they didn't create much yet. That might just change now, though. We are able to defend this. It is a corner, though. Let's praise him for a first time. Okay, Ankun is a bit complacent, it seems. He's overconfident now. The rest of them seem to be motivated or in good mood. That got intercepted. Atan, that's defended, but only until it hits Mazrin. Mazrin is one to drive forward with the ball now. Zulkifli. That's no good. Sophie, that's better. Mazrin. Mazrin with yet another cross. Oh. Well, Atan, you could have jumped. Carrier, Amran. Interesting. There's not much of an impact on Amran's side so far, despite him being, well, not the favored one in his position. So if he ends up with a 6.6 rating at the end of the match and didn't do much, I will probably be happy. Chuchu. Chuchu finds Atan. Atan. Knocks the ball back. Amran. Atan again. Sophie. Best. That's not offside. Chuchu. Well, maybe he's good at finishing after all. Baru's on the bench? Because Atan is faster. Chuchu times 2. Yet again on his left. And by the way, both of them were created by Mr. Baggio Test. We should probably rename him. Chuchu's still there. Yes. And also he just put a second one into the back of the net. Welcome back. This, by the way, is number 1 in the league. Well, I mean, I guess it's still the number 1 team in the league on the pitch right now. The position just changed recently. That makes sense. Nice cross by Atan. That's a header by Test. Easy one for Rumley though. To be fair, his heading is trash. So I didn't expect much. It might go in on accident sometimes. Well done, it's offside. We continue the theme of praising the team. This time Ankun isn't really overconfident, because the confidence is fine. And Safri, well defended. Also, Diego Baggio Test. We might as well call him Diego at this point. He has playmaking duties a little bit. I don't know if anyone remembers Diego that was with Wolfsburg at some point in Germany. Mies might. That has been ages ago. Was he with Werder or both? I'm not sure. I might have confused one of the green clubs, whatever. Decent pass by Chuchu. Opens up play. Amran, Atan, Ankun. Yeah, but he was at both clubs, wasn't he? I'm not sure. That has been ages ago. He was a number 10 though. So, not exactly a striker. Tsuki Flea. Oh, that hit the goal post. I think it was Atan's shot though. Chuchu. Will he go for a hat trick? Not yet. Atan. Another shot. Yes, Thomas. Thomas is on the bench though, for now. We found somebody with an absolutely incomprehensible name, Tsuki Flea, and he's in attacking midfield right now. Actually his first match. Mazrin could have scored a third goal. I'm not sure what's going on there. Seems like the tactic works. For now. That's another corner. Let's base him once more and hope that we can carry this forward, at least until the end of this half. But in particular, 0.03 expected goals for now, that's not much. Apparently we defended the corner well. Not the subsequent cross though, that's one for Ideal. Fine! Ideal with a long kick. He's specifically instructed not to do this. Doesn't care though. Why? It's not even the end of the first half yet. Aru will come on at some point, don't worry. That's bad. Can we close down Azar? Apparently we can't, but carry us there. Mod Sabri takes the corner, Sophie... Mazrin is on the wrong wing. Doesn't matter to him though. Atan. Well, that's alright. Amran with the throw in, Atan, Amran with the cross. Chuchu with the header! That would have been nice. Also his heading. His heading is 6. And this is halftime. So, Tsukifli doesn't exactly do much for now. Still think it's alright to have him on the pitch. Well, I think given the 2-0 lead, we can probably give him another 10 minutes. Or 15. Just like this. I'm very happy with this overall. Also, Diego Baggio test just made it to an 8.2 rating. Let's give him a nickname. I've had enough of this. I don't want to call him Test. And Baggio I cannot remember. He's Diego now. I don't know. Is there a train called Diego? Probably not. They subbed Roberto Baggio. They subbed a few players. I should probably have a look at that. I want to get this over the finish line, right? San Diego. Is San Diego famous for trains or something? I don't think so. I guess it's a probable train destination. Alright. This guy's bravery is pretty low. Sadly, his dribbling is okay. But given that bravery, and given that there's no yellow cards in the squad yet, I'm willing to risk it, I think. Mr. Dinesh is the replacement for the former playmaker, right? Good passing, good vision. We are trying to mark him tightly. I think it makes sense on him too. That said, his first touch is also bad. Yeah, I confused it anyway. But we should probably try to mark him tightly, and in case we don't get that, we should try to close him down. Composure is okay-ish, but his first touch is pretty bad. So we might stand a chance of getting the ball from him. And then there's another striker. Isha Rahman. Dribbling's decent. Finishing and heading is decent. Rather fast. Off-the-ball movement's pretty bad. So, but with that acceleration and pace, I'd rather not mark him tightly. Specifically, maybe, but our central defenders are not exactly great with the marking, I think. So I'll go with this. Santiago for the target patron saint of strikers. He's not even a striker. He's a midfielder after all. So that would be highly ironic, I guess. Well saved by Saidil. And Carrier manages to find a yellow card, apparently. So let's ease off tackles for him. There we go. That's well defended. Ankun. Oh well. This guy's way out of position. It's Atan. Ah, that was close to Atan getting the ball. Zulkifli, Chuchu. The pass was decent. Chuchu for Atan. Hit the man. Ankun. That was a foul. Ankun. That was a goal frame. Saidin, Norisham, Dinesh. We just gave him a long shot. I don't like that. Zakaria, we have a cross. Well, given the size difference to Amran, that's probably to be expected to happen at some point. We could have tried to avoid that cross though. Do we have a taller right back? Ishak's jumping reach is 7. Amran's is 5, so I guess Ishak could make an appearance. He's apprehensive though. You did? Maybe you did. So I think I'm gonna bring on Ishak. Nah, I won't. He's in a bad state of mind. I'd rather not. That said, I think Abdullah for carrier makes sense. Abdullah's tackling is pretty great. So we can tell him to tackle harder. That's a debut for him. Given the recent performance by Zulkifli, I think Thomas can come on here. In his former role as a shadow striker, why not? And yeah, I'm okay with this. There was somebody else. Baru. I wanted to bring on Baru for Atan. I think that makes sense too. Sure. Yeah, it's in minute 52. Bit early for a lot of substitutes, but whatever. Maybe it helps. The possession is not much higher than in the last matches, so there's not much going on there yet. Sophie, that's not bad, not a bad pass. Chuchu, Ankun. A free again. Ankun. Zulkifli, that's a foul. And then he's off. So now Thomas is on the pitch. Maybe he can make stuff. Up. Oh, that was close. Mazrin with another risky pass. That worked. Choo-choo, Sophie for Mazrin. Is this offside? Apparently not. Mazrin with not a dribble really. And Baru is not one to jump for the ball. Azar with a really dangerous pass towards Matt Jacob. I think we might just need to close this guy a bit down and tackle him hard despite the good dribbling. I want him to be stopped in midfield. There's 35 minutes to go. And maybe we can deal with a yellow card. We cannot deal with an additional goal. Sophie, Test, Choo-choo. Short pass and a long shot by Test. It's not fantastic, but it's something. Sophie, yet another nice long ball. Test, Ankun. What a ball. Thomas. 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 Oh. Close. Should have ran with the ball for another meter, maybe. Choo-choo takes the corner. That's nothing for Safri. Second attempt, maybe? Second attempt. Well, that didn't work. And Thomas runs into touch with the ball. Just to make sure that the left winger doesn't get to it. Zakaria, this is another one of these situations, isn't it? Of course he crosses. This time it's over the goal. It's ideal for Amran. Who actually finds Test. Nice ball. Thomas. Let down by his lack of finishing. Or maybe composure, or both. Who knows? What's going on with you? They are struggling with the pace of the match. Mazrin with a second attempt, maybe? Yes. Ah, close. It's a corner though. I think I'll continue the theme of praising, despite being, well, not with a 0 at the back anymore. Choo-choo. Nope, it's a free again. That didn't work. Abdullah. He's new, by the way. Baru. Ankun. Abdullah. Can't find a good short pass. That's well done. That's even better. Baru. That's not a finish. Zakaria. It's ideal claims the ball this time. Finally. But given this, that this situation happens all the time, I will bring on Ishak. And well, then there's Suleiman, Harsi and Hasnan left. I think we'll wait for another stoppage. That does make sense. He's apprehensive, so that means he's somewhat nervous. No, he's fearful, right? Yeah, okay. Now he's a bit more relaxed. Hopefully that helps. So I deal with a long kick that might just end up with Thomas. Or it doesn't. Ankun. Ankun runs wide with the ball. That's certainly very creative. Back for Amran. He's still on the pitch. Amran! Wow. Our soon-to-be replaced wingback just decided to dribble all the way into the penalty area and score. What the hell? He compensated us for his lack of defensive performance. We will still sub him off. But wow. Not bad. Nice work, Sophie. We'll take the foul. That's alright. Mazarin with a throw in. Chuchu, nice ball control. Ankun. Sophie. It's not a long shot. Oh, Baru! Well, he gets the chances. Mazarin with another one. Raman, that looks like a very dangerous counter-attacking situation, and Ankun's there. Very good. We will praise the entirety of the team. Test. Thomas. Thomas with an interesting ball, but that was not successful. My lung, that might be dangerous. Yep. Good save by Sideel. Gotta give him that. Granted, he was way better last match. Where he labored to an 8-point-something rating. Included a safe penalty though. Hopefully we will not see that today. Well, the penalty that is. Hopefully not a bunch of saves either. I don't want him to have that many chances anymore. Offside. Alright, great. Everybody seems to be happy, more or less. Mazarin. Well done. Test. It seems to pay off to have somebody up front that is somewhat tall. Baru with a run. Thomas. Ankun. Ankun with a possession pass, I guess. Chuchu. Mazarin. Goes down the left, just as he is instructed to do. Test. Ah! Well... it was... I guess an effort has been made. Well defended. Thomas. Another ball for Chuchu. He doesn't cut inside this time. There's a cross and Test with a bicycle kick. This is a midfielder playing striker. I'm not sure what's going on there. I guess it's more likely for him to hit the back of the net using his feet. Chuchu though completes the hat-trick. That's the 4th goal of the match for us. Nice. I did not expect Chuchu to score that much today. But what do I care? It works. Wow. That sticker didn't get used that much in a very long time. So, we are 3 goals up. The biggest concern is who will hurt themselves. Under these circumstances, I think it's probably Sophie. Let's take him off, bring on Suleiman. That gives us a little bit more of a direct ball. And... yeah, that's it. 10 minutes to go. Chuchu on a 9.2 rating. Let's praise everyone. Whatever happens, this will be something to be very proud of. Baru, What's this Ankun? Choo-choo. Baru. We need to teach him finishing. Name the clip Choo Choo Choo. To be fair, it's well deserved. Nice tackle, Ishak. Test on a yellow card. Don't get thrown off the pitch, please. Sassies of tackles for both of them. 3 minutes to go. You know, I should probably come up with time wasting at this point. Been a while. There's we did the last sub. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, thanks. I replaced the defensive midfielder. He was the one that was the most tired. Suleiman's here, there for him right now. That may happen, but I'm not sure about it yet. We win. That was very much, I guess, deserved. We also tinkered with the tactic, so I guess the tactical overhaul worked. And overall, most of them had a decent game. With the notable exception of Zulkifli, but it was his first match. So I'm not that, I guess, concerned. Choo-Choo scored 3 goals. The 4th goal scored by Amran, which, well, that's a rare occasion. It will probably not happen in the future. That said, he made his point. He was on a 6.4 rating prior to that. And he just ran straight into the penalty area and knocked that one into the back of the net. So, that happens. Alright. I think we can praise everyone. Fantastic. And, well, given that we are number 1 in the league right now, and we've just shown Kuala Lumpur Rovers where they belong, in the semi-professional tier, and we are the ones that belong in the professional tier, I think that will probably be a positive for our reputation after all. So, hopefully we can keep that up for the second half of the season. Yeah. There is a match on Saturday here. There is no match in here. We will deal with that. Sharon Nullet will probably deal with the press conference. There is no reason to praise Choo-Choo. There is a reason to praise him. I thought he was in perfect mood, but apparently, no. Keep it up, man. We will skip forward, have a look at Sharon Nullet's comments, and then I will probably go celebrate. Let's see. Well, thoughts on the match? Other than, I guess, a hat-trick by Choo-Choo is pretty great, and also Sharon Nullet warned me apparently about the left winger. Considering how it could have turned out, I think ex ante the result is pretty okay. Apparently Sharon Nullet is very happy with the victory. Delighted, it says. They say proof is in the pudding. And the pudding in this case is in a football. Alright. I'm not sure what to make of that. Thank you very much for that comment, Sharon Nullet. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the shorter ones. I will probably be able to do another stream tomorrow though. I will keep you posted on the Discord. That said, very happy with the result. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you all most likely tomorrow. Have a good night. And yeah, bye.